We first begin with Coach Jansen and his opening comments for today's League Cup match against Cruz Azul.
As the first game we played against Santos, I really enjoyed this game. It was even more intense than game number one, playing against the Mexican champions. I think we were up for it. A very good team. You could see the challenges, the duels were very intense. But like always, when you play a top game, and that was this one tonight, games will be decided on details. That goes both ways, because the first goal is a situation where we look a little immature, losing the ball with Jimmy's dribble. The turnover's there. They punish you for this moment immediately. But we punish them also for a well-taken free kick, and that was also the quality from the delivery from Nico. And then you see the second half, we get a few details more in line, and I think the biggest moment that we created was the moment with Nico Macau just missing inside the goal mouth, which was a huge moment. But as what happened in the first half, it was a minor detail. We opened up the window in the middle once, and they accelerate again, and we were unlucky with the deflection with the goal that we conceded. But overall, very intense game. Good lesson for us also to see what happens when you play at top level, and that was this game tonight.
Thank you, Coach. We open the floor for questions. Please state your name and media outlet. First question.
Yeah, Michael Allen, Blue City Radio and Prost International. Yeah, Coach, tough result tonight. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about how important it is for the team to play against these top quality opponents from other leagues, especially in an atmosphere like this tonight, which is very, not a home game,
no,
decidedly different from the last match. So just speak a little bit about that and the importance of that for the development of the team.
That's going to be different once we go to our own stadium in Queens, filled with blue shirts. Now this stadium was obviously filled with more Mexican supporters than our own. Felt like an away game as well. Like I said, it was intense, and big credits to the fans and the crowd as well, because they made it also a very intense game. As I mentioned, it's always great to play these games because you get so much more compared to maybe 20% of the games that you play in the MLS. And the one thing that I think we should be looking at is when you play these type of games at top level, then you should have neutral referees. And if I'm not mistaken, our referee was from Mexico today, and that makes it a little tougher. We all know that they try to be as objective as they can be, but I think going forward with this tournament, the impact that it makes with playing these games, it's something to think about.
Coach, Michael Batista, New York Sports Nation. You talked about Nico's delivery on that free kick, but Max Murray in his second ever start getting a goal, his first ever goal for the first team. Can you just talk about that? You've seen his developments, over the years. Just what does that mean? Not just what do you think that means for him, and what does that mean for you and the team?
It's confirmation basically. As I mentioned from the game against Santos, where he had his first start. He's calm, he's composed, not impressed even with the environment of tonight's game. Great movement on the delivery from Nico and getting the goal. Credits to him as well. And he played another 90 plus 5 minutes again at the most intense level that we could play today. Not everything went well, but that goes for the whole team. And Max did a great job, but it's 18 months of work from this kid that goes into game one and tonight's game. Doesn't surprise me, and I think it's a confirmation that we can trust him as the third or the fourth central defender available, and when Thiago, like today and the previous game, is not available, we can trust him to play.
Hey, Coach, Matt Mangum, New York Soccer Journal. You mentioned the intensity from Cruz Azul. How much did that and their style of play kind of have an effect for your team today and, in possession for you guys?
Good question, because once the intensity goes up, you have to match that intensity with your game out of possession, but also in possession. And we weren't as clean as we normally are, but that is also the step up you have to make when you compete with a team like Cruz Azul. It would have been interesting to see without downsizing the performance of the players that were the replacements of the starters. But it would have been nice to see if we had everybody available, how we would compete with the best in Mexico at this moment. But that might be the case for our next one.
Hey, Mr. How are you? For RDT Sports, my name is Alejandro. My question is, I think this is the right path for these kind of games that we need more often to big teams like Cruz Azul, and that'll be like awesome to see NYC versus like River Plate or other games like that, to have more of the experience, because I think we add to that test. Today, the guys showed that we managed to actually maintain a lot of the teams, but of course, like what you said before, the younger experience was the difficult, the little guys. But I think, I'm sorry for the experience. I think it was well for the team.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy these games, and my boys enjoy it as well. Everybody was very disappointed just now in the dressing room, and I said, you should be disappointed also, because I think with a little more game management from ourselves on pitch, we would be able to walk off pitch with a draw against the champions of Mexico. And but like I explained in the beginning in my opening statement, when you have minor moments when you're not switched on, this is a team with this type of quality that can punish you instantly. And that is something we will take with us and try to match it again once we go back into the MLS. But first we have to play game number 3 in the tournament as well, and take whatever we've learned from tonight's game into the next one, because this is what we need in order to grow.
Okay. We have a couple of questions on the Zoom. If you open up the line for Emilio Rojas. Emilio Rojas, ¿escuchas? Okay. Let's try Ramon Cortez. Ramón, ¿nos escuchas?
Buenas noches, ahora sí, gracias.
Okay.
Los saluda Ramón Cortés de Somos 6 Escuela, Los Ángeles del Fútbol. Profe, preguntarle un partido difícil ante el campeón actual de México. Mi pregunta sería, ¿qué modificar para enfrentar a Necaxa en el siguiente juego para lograr la clasificación? Y un poquito más a fondo, si me lo permite, ¿qué referirse o qué afectó en el juego de hoy el tener un árbitro mexicano en la cancha?
Perdón, ¿puede repetir la segunda parte de la pregunta?
¿En qué afectó? Hace rato comentaba él sobre un referee o un árbitro mexicano en la dupla en los árbitros de hoy en el partido. Ser más específico, ¿en qué afectó en el partido hoy tener un mexicano de árbitro?
Okay. The question, first two parts that he asked is, what modifications now you're going to have going into your next game against Necaxa? And the second part, what did you think about the calls that were made, especially with the officiating towards this second half?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, our referee team was from Mexico. In order to grow in this tournament, I think that is something that you should be looking at. He had a tough night because both teams were very competitive. And then sometimes a call goes your way and sometimes the call goes the other way. And that's what you have to live with during this game. The other part, going into the third game of this tournament, yeah, that's the interesting one. We came into this tournament with the idea that we were able to win it. So that hasn't changed in the sense of going into game number 3. We'll try and win that game. But the way the tournament has been set up, you know that once you have one loss out of 3 games, it's very hard to progress to the quarterfinals. But we will give our all and our best going into game number 3 and try to secure a win in game number 3.
Okay. We have time for one more question. We'll try this room one more time. And Emilio Rojas. Emilio, ¿nos escuchas? Okay. Then thank you very much, and we'll conclude this press conference.
All right.
Thank you, guys.